Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Rebuild It. With any luck, this week we're going to be finished with this project. We got a few more little pieces and parts to put on, and hopefully I've got a few little things that are still supposed to be showing up in the mail this week. Hope they show up to do the little finishing touches on it. And I'd really like to take this on this first drive, do a price breakdown and all that this week on this episode. So wish us luck, and we'll see you here in just a minute. Get started. Okay, so when we left off last week, we were getting ready to install the front bumper on this thing, and I've got the bumper all assembled, all the little inserts and pieces on there. So hopefully when we pop this hood and put it in there, everything lined right up. That's the goal, but that never happens. So we'll see what we got to do to get it to all line up right. Alright, so the bumper is on, and I went ahead and stuck this other tire back on there and let the car down, and when I did, I noticed this pool of water. This was yesterday, so it's already dried up, but it started coming out underneath the bottom, and then I realized that it was coming out of the washer, headlight washer. So when you get this thing down below, it just pours water out. So whatever valve is supposed to be in there that shuts that off is not working, so I had to order another one of those, and I got a used one, so I hope it actually works. New ones are like $200 for that one little piece, so that hopefully that comes in before the end of this video. And we also need to put our badge on there, which if you guys remember, there's one hole and the other hole got covered with so we got to drill it back out. And we also need to figure out our headlights. Since that one washer doesn't work, I can steal one of the nozzles off of it and put on this one. And I did test them, and they shot water all the way. They came up, I don't know if it's because there's no headlights in there or what, but they shot water all the way across the car over to the it was on the trunk. So it's they pop up. I don't know if you know how these work, but I guess when they come on, they pop up and shoot and go back down. But they always crack. Like this one, I think, has a crack in it right here. But every one of them you see is cracked right there, and these things fall out. So the things I've seen, what they say to do is put a little thin layer of like epoxy, marine epoxy on there. Stick it back down in there, and it won't go anywhere. So probably do that. And also I found the elusive triple square socket for our door latch. So that's like a 12 instead of like a Torx bit. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's like 12 points. And so they have it at Napa. If they don't have it at your Napa, they can order it. And there's the size. Yep, so that's the right size. So probably tackle that next and get that out of the way, because I've been dreading doing that. All right, so I don't know if you remember the reason I'm having to take this latch out over here. I was waiting on this piece to come in to do that. It's because this piece here I broke when I was trying to get it off the latch when I took the door panel off. And so I have to replace it. I have a new one here, but you can't get to the other side of it in there without unhooking that latch and getting it over here to this hole where you can see it. So I hope it's not a total nightmare. Everything else on these has been a nightmare trying to get stuff on and off. So I'll put it on time lapse and hopefully I won't throw a fit. All right, so I did get that done. That wasn't horrible. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't horrible. So it is in there where it needs to be. So now we have a non-broken cable there. So we'll continue on the next step. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys or not. The door panels over here, these are pretty rough. These little flaps, they're all scratched up and stuff on both of them, especially the driver's side one. So I think I'm going to take those off and sand them down and repaint them while these are off. You have to get to the only way to get them off is to have this panel off. You got to get these screws on the back side. So I might go ahead and do that and let that be drying, and then I'll work on the latch. So here's this little flapper I was talking about, and it's got like a rubberized, it's not really rubberized, but some kind of coating that scrapes off really easy with your fingernails. So that's why these things always look so terrible. So I took the other one, this is the driver's side, I took the passenger side one upstairs in the sink with some steel wool and scraped it all off and used water on there, and it comes off. Probably took 10 minutes to get all of it off of there. So I'll use some adhesive promoter, spray it down, and I'll paint it black. And same way with these little armrests. So that mounts like this on here, and there's just a little hole on the end of it, and a little ball. You just see the ball, it just slides in there. So I'm gonna do that same thing with this plastic on here, which is all scratched up, just looks bad. But the rest of the door looks pretty good. So I think once I do those, the doors will look really nice. All right, so here's what they look like after they've been all sanded and put adhesion promoter on there and painted with some special vinyl and fabric paint. That's what it's made for, so hopefully it holds up. And I think that's like 1,000 times better. That's gonna really help those doors look good. So we'll get that installed, and then when it dries, and then we can actually put door panels on after we put the latch on. All right, so that was another 30-minute nightmare trying to get that off, or on, but I got it. So now we are ready to put door panels back on, and then we'll be on to headlights. So there's the reassembled door panel, and I think that turned out way nicer than what it was before. So I'm happy with that. There's the other side. Still have to paint this little piece right here. I forgot about. It's a little plastic piece that's scratched up, so I'll do those the same way I did these little flaps. And that'll be it on there. And I think I'm gonna I went ahead and remove where the window switches are, and it was pretty scratched up. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm probably gonna go ahead and remove this plastic center console right here and do that too, because the rest of it is really nice. So that's the only thing that looks bad. I hate to not do it. So I don't think it's too hard to get out of there. So I'll do that. Might do that off camera. So let's jump on over to the headlights. All right, so the only one we can really put in right now is this driver's side headlight, because I went ahead and put that other little squirter in there, and we've got everything. We just got to hook up this one switch to the light, and then when we push it all the way in, it automatically connects to that switch or that plug. So let's do that and see how it lines up. This one I'm still waiting on the washer, which hopefully will be here in the next day or two, and then we can try that headlight. Okay, well that one ended up going in there really nice, but you kind of expect it to, because that was not the wrecked side. So the thing lines up, came on, turned on, so that's good. All right, it is the next day, and I did get the new headlight squirter in, and I tested it. It does work. It does not leak. So now we can put in this other headlight and see how it lines up. Hopefully it lines up straight. And then we'll be ready to get up underneath and finish buttoning up the bumper. Alright, well I finally got that thing installed and adjusted correctly. Man, that is a job. I ended up having to take the bumper back off, and I can get up underneath there and adjust those screws in and out. You've got adjustment this way, and so it's a long time, but finally got it. So now I need to take that back out, reinstall this little piece for the washer, and we can put the bumper back on. Bumper back on, headlight in, got the little side markers in, badge on. So that's about it on the outside. I got to put the little Boxster badge on the trunk, and as you can see, I've got all the console stuff out. Got little pieces and parts all over the place for the console, and then I'm gonna sand and paint. All right, guys, so everything on the exterior of the car is now finished. Everything's bolted in, buttoned up, got fender liners in, got new Porsche center caps and lug bolt covers on the wheels. Got the Boxster badge on the trunk. Just changed the oil. So everything, oh, I even have the all the stuff inside the Frunk reinstalled. So that's looking nice. So that's all done. So all I've got left to do is reinstall the interior, which is all painted and dry. So I'm going to jump on that, and then I'll give this thing a wash. All right, so I've got the interior back in, and it does look way better. Getting all that old sticky stuff that scratches so easy off of there, I think. So we're done. Only thing left that I know we have to get the AC charged, because remember before we just had it pressure tested before at the very first, you probably don't remember that as many episodes ago, and then we got to wash it, and we also had to change the antifreeze in it. When we replaced the front radiator up here, we had to drain everything, and so when we put it back in, we just put it in, put distilled water in there to make sure nothing leaked. So we've got to drain all that back out and put antifreeze back in it. Now I think we'll just take it outside, give it a good wash, and then we will do its first drive. All right, here we are in the Porsche. Man, it's been a long time having this thing without being able to drive it. So I'm looking forward to it. And remember, we have no AC, so I'm gonna roll the window up so you can hear me, but I might have to put the top down here in a little bit. It's hot today. I'm just on a little back road here, and we'll get out onto the main road, and we'll see what this thing feels like compared to the T2, compared to the Crossfire. I think this only has about 217, I think is what it was, horsepower. Where the other two that I have that I've driven last have been quite a bit more horsepower than that. But this is rear engine, and the last time I drove a rear engine car was my 1970 Volkswagen Beetle. When I was a teenager, so definitely got pep. Man, this thing, it must be super light because it jumped up to 60 real fast. And man, this thing's got almost a full tank of gas that's been in there who knows how many months. We need to run some of this fuel out. It feels different being with the engine in the rear. Turn around up here and then roll up, put the top down. All right, so to put this top down, you have to have the emergency brake on. Press this little button up here. Flip your latch. Push the button here. There we go, flaps going up. Oh, there's it. Now maybe we can get some better sounds. Hopefully the wind noise doesn't get you too bad. The screen should help. Never had one with a screen like that in it. Man, this thing feels like it's got more pep than those other ones. This has got a lot less horsepower. A lot. It sounds really good. You probably can't hear it, but when I rev it up, man, it sounds really good back there. Anybody know, leave in the comments section below, like how longevity do they have? I mean, this has got almost 104,000 miles on it. If you take care of them, how long will they last? If I would have got this bought for what I got it bought for and only had another couple thousand in it, where I only had about 5 in it, it'd be fun just to have just play around with. But I think I've got way too much in it for that. I'd like to sell it and take that money and put it into something else to get some of my money back. So everything seems to be working great on here. There's the temperature staying normal, dash, all the gauges work. Everything seems to look like it's going great. So I would have no problem taking this thing on a trip once I get the alignment done. Well, here I am back at the house. I'm not gonna lie, that was a lot of fun. I really like this thing. And it is a beautiful shape too. I know it's just a Boxster, but man, they say these things are just like the front end is a 911. So if you don't like the back, then the only other difference on 911 is this engine's in the rear instead of in the middle. But it's really cool. What do you guys think? Do you like the shape of a Boxster, or would you rather have the shape of a Solstice? I mean, new, these cars are, huge price difference when they were new. I think this was almost $50,000 and the Solstice was probably 30 or so. Tell me if I'm wrong on there, I don't know. But now that I've got the interior all cleaned up and repainted and stuff, I mean, it's nice. Before it looked junky on all the, the plastics, but I would drive this thing. Doesn't look like it's got 103,000 miles on it. Okay, guys, hold on to your seats because it's time for a parts breakdown on this whole build. See what it costs to build this thing. And you're witnessing history because I think this is the first time we might lose money on a build. Never lost money on a rebuild project before, so this could be the first. So here's the price breakdown. Okay, on the auction, we spent $2,450 on auction. When you add fees on there, it's another $628. The trip down there to get it was about $200. Taxes and license was $154.76. All the different pieces and parts had to get for headlights, bulbs, and all that. And replacing the smashed one, $457.43. If you remember, our wheel was destroyed over there in that tire, so wheel tires and different parts for wheels like the center caps and the lug bolt covers and all that. $332.03. Oil, filters, antifreeze, all the fluids that are bought for this thing, $276.15. Body panels, the hood, the fender over there, the bumper, any of the body panels we needed, and including the parts that went in there. All this came from the same place, the radiator and all the little brackets and parts that went in there. $850.56. Trim pieces. There's a ton of trim pieces on these Porsches, and they're not cheap. $526.74. Paint. This is just paint supplies and the paint, because I did all the painting myself. $900.85. Body work that Mike did for me on the hood, trying to get it straight because it was such bad shape. $150. And I still have to do the AC charge on the front, which I'm estimating on here is about 80 bucks, and a front end alignment $50. So that comes to a total of $7,056.52. So a 20-year-old Boxster 986 with 103,000 miles, over $7,000, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below, and be kind. Well, thank you guys for watching this series on the Boxster. I'd like to say I really enjoyed the whole series, but this is probably my least favorite one in the last several cars we've done, just because of the paint. And I really like the car, and doing this Boxster kind of makes me want to do another Porsche, maybe another Boxster, a little newer one with a turbo version, or even this first version. I really like it. If I could do the turbo version and get one where I don't have to paint the whole car, because that painting everything is just like, I just don't enjoy that. I don't mind doing certain sections and all that, but the whole car is months long ordeal for me when I have to do it after hours. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know again in the comment section what you think about the price and the amount of time we spent on it and all that stuff. And give us a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and share us with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We really appreciate it. See you next week.
And always remember, don't retire it if you can rebuild it. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and watching this week's episode of Rebuild It. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any awesome content. Have a good one.